Simon the Wizard from Budapest.
Yeah, copy. Yeah, I understand you well. Does the same for me. I was sending people to David. I was in the background. I was not at home, so I was just on the mobile phone pushing people towards David.
I don't know who he's talking to.
Yeah, Roger on that. Well, this morning here is going bonkers as well. All morning. Turned on the radio just after 8 a.m. this morning. Spoke to American Samoa, which is about 16,500 kilometers from me, on a vertical, and the guy sounded like he was next door. Quite crazy.
Nice one. Good contact. I don't like the cross-band interference this radio produces. Seems like when AMs...
Exactly. I wouldn't worry about it. It's just one of those things. Nature of the beast. If you don't hear, you've got to ask. And anyone that doesn't get it, then, well, they're not really worth to talk to.
Seems like when AM is busy, the cross-band interference is quite bad. Never experienced it on any of my other radios as bad as what it is on this one. Shall we try for him?
Yeah, good morning, Dan. Well, Dan, I'm sorry I didn't catch you, but good morning.
It's going to be busy because there's going to be a lot of people trying to get into him.
Yep, no worries at all. You're 5x9, you're blowing smoke here. We're located in Budapest, eastern corner of the city next to the airport, and you sound like a local. Wow, it is stonking and beautiful. Honest to God. We're running here Fox Tango 710, FT710. Mike is homebrew. It's homebrew. It's like a standard Yasue mic with a brand new guts inside it, basically. And the antenna is a Himalaya WB. Himalaya WB from President. It's about 2 meters from the floor. Roger that, I know what you mean. I've got to grab Cioli here, a 5/8 wave, the 5/8 wave one. I took it out of the box, built it. It's about 20 odd kilos to lift it up in the air, which is a bit of a sod compared to the Himalaya. But I stuck it up for a few days, and Jesus, you can literally hear a bird fart at 100 miles.
Let's try for him. QSK Simon 444 UK. I know the band will be busy.
Yeah, copy on that. Here, no, I'm not so lucky. We're located behind a shopping centre. We're located actually, believe it or not, like about 150 metres behind a Tesco, and that chucks out all of its noise, you know, with all the gubbins they have in there, all the tellies, videos, and God knows what. And then behind that is a KFC, and they have LED lights, so they pick out some more mesh. And if we stick the antenna up and it pokes above the roof, then the neighbours are knocking on the door about the aeroplanes. So it's only just 2 metres off the ground. That's all, and that does its job. It's not going to complain. Better than nothing.
It's going to be busy trying to get into him.
Yeah, copy. You're very kind, both of you. Lovely to hear you. I'm going to knock it on the head because Wayo is out with the mother-in-law, and I think they'll be back here chewing their fat soon, so won't be so easy to talk with what sounds like 400 voices in the background. Wish you a beautiful day. Just for a last thing for your info, it's 29C here. Blue sky, sunshine, no wind, and pretty odd. It should be around 10 to 15. And tomorrow we have a really strong weather front coming in from the west. It goes from 29 to 10 degrees. So finally, I think the dark, cold nights are coming. So 26 Delta Radio, 483, 484, 077. Have a super weekend and best wishes, and thanks for the chat.
QSK Simon, 444 Nottingham, UK.
Thanks so much, gents. Have a lovely day.
QSK Simon, 444 Nottingham, UK.
Yeah, 444, please. Can we QSY 440?
Okay, my friend, 440. Yeah, 07726 Delta X-ray 444 Nottingham, UK. Operator name is Glenn. Nice to make the acquaintance. First time on the air. Thank you for taking my call, Simon.
Most pleasure, Glenn. Pleasure to hear you. That rings a bell with me somewhere along the way. Yeah, I think I'm one of the people to watch your videos, possibly. Delta X-ray 444. Can't remember. Brain is foggy, but I believe you're the gentleman running a striker or something, talking to the US all the time.
Yes, that's quite correct, Simon. Thank you for the for the compliment there. I didn't realise you watched my channel. I'm actually talking to you right now, Simon, on the George 2 QSL.
Copy. Sounding lovely. Sounds rockstar here. Beautiful. And yeah, actually a friend of mine told me about you because he thought that you should be on my Simon the Wizard blog. Said, Glenn speaks everywhere, man. You should watch his videos. So that's exactly what I did. I went and I watched your videos.
Well, thank you very much, Simon. That has actually made my day. I'm a little bit choked at that, so thank you very much there, Simon. I do read your blog. I do actually watch all your reviews on radios. I'm a big President fan myself, just had to have the George 2. I saw your reviews on it, and yes, I didn't realise it was going to bring a George 2 out. It's been so long since the first George. But I am liking the radio. It has got its niggles, but I do like the radio, Simon. QSL?
Yeah, QSL, Glenn. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, yeah, it does have its niggles. I found a couple that I managed to figure out a way around it. The only issue I have realistically is I get a lot of emails, people telling me about the loose menu button, you know, the button you press to access the menus. But I've got a Yasue 450D and a 991A, and it has exactly the same amount of wobble on my buttons as on the George. And the George is like €350 and the Yasue was 1200.
Yeah, I run a 450 myself sometimes. Also run the DX10. I've got various radios, obviously, if you've seen my channel. My one preference, though, for 11 meters is most definitely the Striker 955. I don't know if you've used that radio yet, Simon, but it's an absolute beast on the air. Anyway, Simon, I won't keep you. I did hear that you were saying you was going to shoot off there. But the station this way today, anyway, is obviously the George 2, Sirio 2016. And I'm just using the radio as it should be used there, QSL.
And he sent me one to have a play with the old. It only got the old firmware, unfortunately. So it didn't have a lot of the frequencies. It only had like this band and the one
I think
below.
it was cross-modulating.
But we've updated it recently, and yeah, it's a beast. It's true, and there's something going around. I can't remember what it is. If you put one component, you jump a one component near the final. I know it goes about 100 watts on SSB, but not done it because if it don't break it, don't want to break it really. So, but yeah, the 955, I've had it in the car, and it it literally is a monster, and I run it with a Striker A10, which is like a different covered Wilson 5000, and it works really well.
Yeah, QSL, yeah, it is a complete beast on the air, the 955. Everybody that I talk to stateside, they all say the same thing. I think it's actually one of those love it or hate it radios, Simon, with the way it looks. You know, a bit of a Marmite radio, as they say. But I have no issues with it whatsoever. When I got mine, it was running very high on the output. I backed mine off to about 50 whiskies, and it still seems to work equally as well there, Simon, QSL.
Copy on that. Yeah, I've seen the videos. You talk to a guy in the States, and he's like he's sat in the room. Brilliant. I have to say you're right. You know, the first one I got here, I bought it in the US. It cost me, with the import duties, it cost me something like about 700 euros. Because they whacked on 40% duty to get it into Hungary, then 8% for the customs fee, and then God knows what, it come out just below 700 euros for it. And that was a bit odd on FM. It was not really very good because it's not really, the Americans at that stage weren't so gung-ho on using FM, but on LSB and AM, Jesus, it worked well, and I like it a lot. I got a George too, but yeah, you know, I bought mine at Rebel Car in France. I bought one and it was pretty good, and I bought a second one, and they bodged it, so the export mod they didn't do properly. They burned the board, and some other things they didn't do very special, to be honest. So that's going back down into Ballarook. It's going to President. They're going to have a look at it for me, because it's the top of the board. When you move the wire, the guys burned the board, and made a right rat's ass of it and charged 44 euros for it.
Well, that seems like they wasn't very professional working on that one at the time then, Simon. Yeah, but I'm sure they'll sort it out for you, and you'll get it back and it'll be 100% there. By the way, I tried the Himalaya from the review that you did. I recently taken that one down and replaced it with a 2016. I can't really see the difference between the two, even though one's an half wave and one's a 5/8 wave. But absolutely fantastic, the Himalaya wideband antenna. Absolutely fantastic, Simon.
Yeah, copy on that. Yeah, again, that's a Marmite antenna as well, you know, funnily enough. It depends how you put it up. I know a lot of people that put them on aluminium and they don't get the SWR. And I know people that stick it on a small steel mast and it works a treat. Like this one, I'll put hand in the air. I had the very first Himalaya. I had it for about 15 months testing it as a prototype, the very first one that they made. And it did about 130 countries. Then I had to send it back because that's the deal. You don't keep it, you just use it and send it back. And then I bought one. It cost me, I think it was about 200 euros delivered from Spain. And on eBay one day, there was a guy in Sicily selling one. He painted it luminous green because he said he wasn't allowed an antenna at home, so he painted it luminous green. And he said the SWR is no good on it, and blah, blah, blah. 40 euros, buy now, 25 euros, shipping via UPS. I bought it, and I brought it here. I put it up in the air, and I'm on it now. There was nothing wrong with it at all. I just put it on an FT2 Stereo adapter, mast adapter. And this year we've had 85 countries on it this year. The best one this morning being American Samoa, 223 AT 102, 16,500 kilometers. And in the week we were talking to Tampa Bay in Florida on FM, 5 and 7, 5 and 9, just with the George and 30 watts.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic, Simon. But that was a good price to pay for the Himalaya. When I bought mine, it was 170, and now I think they're just a little over 200 UK for one of those. But it certainly worked well, I have to say, for an half wave. I thought it would be kind of like similar to the way the Antrom 99 worked, but I don't know. I've had one of those up before, but from what I can remember, my recollection of how they worked, the Himalaya certainly outperformed the Antrom, even though, you know, they both kind of like work the same. But I never knew that about the steel pole with the SWR. I mounted mine on a aluminium pole, and it just seemed to like be on fire for the 3 bands that I always used it on. So I didn't have a problem with the Swan not going out above a 1.3. So it worked well for me anyway, and I was very impressed with it, Simon QSL.
Yeah, copy. Yeah, I know it sounds stupid, but some people put them on an aluminium and it works. Some people don't. Some people put them on 15 meters of coax and work the world. Some people put it on 20 and they can't get the SWR down. It's really peculiar. I know the man who designed it, Mark, his name is Mark, and his dad, they designed it. And the new one, the WB Himalaya, they took away the first filter. They took away the first resonant in the base of the antenna behind the silver. That's what gives it some of the wide band. And now they're working on another one, because the Himalaya that looks like an Antron with the rings to turn. There's the Himalaya WB, which is the silver, looks like a Texas antenna base silver. And now there's another one again, a new one, Himalaya 800. Himalaya 800 WB, and they've done something with that, and it should work now, I think, 20 meters to 10.
QSL, well, that's very interesting, that is, and it will be something that I'll be looking forward to trying there. You know, watching my channel, I do like to try everything to do with, you know, the 11 meters, you know, and what gets put out there. But I find that very interesting. So I'll be looking forward to you probably testing that one. But I have to say, Simon, your signal right now is absolutely fantastic on that Himalaya. You haven't dropped below a 7, and I've actually reduced my RF gain round about 25% on this George, and you're still bouncing in there between the 7 and the 8. And if I hadn't touched the RF gain to eliminate the top end noise there, I think you'd be crashing in at well above the 30 there, Simon QSL.
Yeah, QSL, Glenn. Yeah, you're the same. You're 20 dB. 20 dB on this one. This is a Fox Tango 710. I bought it, I admit, I bought it cheap because it was unlockable. I gave the guy some money in an FT891 and he gave me the 710. Then a month later, you can unlock it right in your firmware. But though, it just goes plus 20 to 9. It doesn't go below it. I'm running a headset and full reception. Microphone is homebrew, but I'm using it with a headset just because it's easier to hear. And the signal don't go below a 9. And you sound identical to on the video. So there was actually a guy. What was his name? Northern Soul. I think Northern Soul or Northern Soul Express or something like that wrote to me. He was somebody from Colorado or Utah, and he said, "Oh, look at this channel. So it wasn't even anyone in the UK. I think it was actually Utah, maybe. Northern Soul from Salt Lake City or something. It was a guy with a radio. He drives a post truck delivering posts from the sorting offices, and he was the one that put me onto you."
Yeah, I have spoken to him. I have him in my logbook, Simon. I'm almost certain I have him in my logbook. It was the parcel delivery that rocked my memory there. But similar story for you, Simon. I too bought the 710 and I had it for about 9 months, and obviously I was being told constantly that it couldn't be put into wideband, and then I sold it. In 1 week later the crack came out for it. So I was a little bit disappointed at getting rid of it, but it didn't take me long. Only two phone calls and the 710 went. But I might have to reinvest in one of those because I think it's a beautiful looking radio, Simon QSL.
Yeah, we got a QSK that just popped over my squelch. I don't know if it's for you, but they just went over my squelch.
I did hear a station call in there, but a little bit lower down for me, Simon, so I'll let you take it, see if you can pull them in.
Yeah, the QSK, you just talked all over the other station. Go ahead. Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Needlebender 2209. Needlebender 2209. Big pleasure, sir. Lovely to hear you, and greetings to the family. Needlebender 77 Hungary. Have a good day. How are you? Have a good day there, QSL, Mr. Bob, from the beautiful state of Illinois. Fantastic to hear you. You're sounding choice, sounding very, very fine into Budapest. Talking to a friend of mine, I don't know if you can hear him, it's Mr. Glenn. His operator name is Glenn, Golf Lima, Echo, November. His call sign is 26 Delta X-ray 444, and he's from the northern part of the UK. Do you have a copy on him, Bob, over? Sure. Yeah, we got a copy on Glenn too there, a 444 Simon, Go ahead, Glenn.
Okay, Needle Bender 2209, Mr. Bob. Hello there, my friend. We have spoken quite a few times before, QSL. QSL Bob, yeah. You know, sometimes I've been told that I'm running an underground wire straight into the States there, because I do copy them quite often, and a lot of the times, sometimes before others can pick them up. But it's good to hear your voice back in my radio, Bob. I know it's been a few weeks since we've actually last spoken, but a good day to you, Mr. Bob.
QSL, Bob, biggest pleasure, really, the biggest pleasure to hear you, and always lovely to speak to a family member in the morning, and wish you and the family a great day, Bob, over. QSL, Simon, right back to you, my friend. Always a pleasure to hear you, Simon. It's just 7 o'clock, 7:30 after we just get some daylight coming in. QSL, Mr. Bob, Central Virginia, biggest pleasure, and hello to the family from over here, and look forward to hearing you again soon with the same amazing conditions. To Needlebender 2209 109 and Needlebender 077 in the eastern side of Budapest. Have a great day, sir. Wow, amazing. He was so loud over here, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, I was picking him up around about the 5 mark on my radio, Simon. I could just about pick him out, but you know, it's all good when you can get a 3-way on 3 different countries. That's absolutely fantastic, QSL.
QSL, absolutely amazing. I mean, George certainly rocking across the pond as well. That's not too, can't complain about that. That's none too shabby.
No, it's I'm quite impressed with it overall. It seems to have a little bit of cross-band interference sometimes when the Alpha mic stations fire up from Italy, being so close to them in the UK. But other than that, I think it's a very nice radio. I put it on equal paring definitely with the McKinley there, Simon, QSL.
Yeah, copy on that. Yeah, I agree with you actually. I think true. 27465. I have a bit of a trouble with it with AM because some of the truckers here are 40 and 60 over 9. So I run the RF gain, I think it's number 5. I run it at 5 on mine. And then if it gets too crazy, I drop it to 4. RF gain on 4, put on a preamp and turn the NRC, have it on RX level 2 and on TX level 1. That's how I run it. That's how I run mine at the moment. I'm not saying it's amazing, but it really. I tried it with the Digimic. I tried it with the President Digimic. Spoke to Australia, and the guy said, I said, you haven't got a strong signal because it was just standard radio power. He said you have not a strong signal, but the audio it has no noise. He said, which is crazy. It's like hearing a telephone call, but the signal's not strong, but the audio has no noise. He wrote me an email about it.
Yeah, QSL, yeah. I think that's just about the exact same settings, that I've put this George 2 on. I think, I have had it since last Saturday, from nights up there in Curtin Lindsley, Mr. Dougie there. So I've had time to play around with it to get the best receive out of it, and I think I've just about cracked it now. It seems to be working well, and I'm really starting to like the radio overall, Simon.
Yeah, copy on that. Well, if you ever want to drop me a line, just via the email, it's 077QSL 077 and just Quebec Sierra Lima QSL@gmail.com. If you want to drop me a line anytime, that's the easiest way to find me these days, because sometimes there's 50 to 100 emails come into the blog, and that has a separate email account. So the 077, that comes straight to me, whereas the blog one, sometimes I get it, sometimes there's a guy called James. He's in Vaduz in Liechtenstein. He's a crazy radio guy. He gets some of the messages as well, because he's the admin. He makes sure that there's enough space on the blog and it doesn't run out of space and this and the other. It's what he does. And he's phenomenally good at it, because I would mess it up. But I think the setting's pretty good. What you have, that's what I found. It just seems to be the best. It's not, if you have it on level 4 NRC on receive, it's a bit digital sound. Especially on FM, sometimes it'll sound stupid, but I hear like some sort of fake radio stations transmitting. So I reported that to the people in France as well. I think it's just a little bit too much on the compression, but this NRC is a brand new one that they've got now on a chip, where it used to be on the CRT 6900V and on the Striker V2. It's on a board. Now it's on a dedicated chip that they can program, so they can change the algorithm, so they can even make it a little bit less digital. And I think level 1 and 2 on transmit and level 1 and 2 on receive is perfect. But I think go above level 3. It's I don't know. It sounds a bit rubbery, but digitally for me, I'm not such a fan of it. Then.
Yeah, QSL. Yeah, it does sound a little bit chirpy around the edges on very strong signals. Even if you put it onto number 3. So yeah, as I say, I've had time to play with it and to get to pull out the best transmit and the best receive on it. It does take a little bit of tinkering back and forth, even dropping the RF gain down to reduce some high-end noise. Your signals aren't actually really where they should be exactly compared to like other radios. So I think that might be something that President could actually work with in the future, and getting a more accurate RF gain, instead of it going down in kind of like big steps. If you understand what I mean, Simon, QSL.
Yeah, QSL, 100% agree. Yeah, I do agree. Same as the clarifier on the front. When mine's at 12 o'clock, I can move it to 1, 2, 3 o'clock. It don't do anything really, and then it suddenly jumps from about 3. And if I have it on midday and I go backwards, 11, 10, 9, on the clarifier after 9, it starts to get busy. I reported about that as well. Didn't like it. So I told the shop where I bought it from, and they were like, don't really care. You spent 400 euros on it. Because it was like 330 euros a radio, 20 euros for shipping, and 20 euros for the mod, and 60 euros for shipping. So it made it about 417 euros for a CB. I thought I have every right to moan, so I told them what I thought about it. They were like, but yeah, I mean, is there other things that can change? Yes. Is it a good thing out of the box? Yes. Is it better out of the box than the McKinley? Yes. The McKinley was odd from the box because of its small heat. It has heat issues because components get very close to tolerance quickly because of the size. And so is it better than McKinley? Yeah, I would say so. Is it a good base for further models? I don't know, bigger power or different versions or whatever? Yeah, I would probably say the same. It is. It just needs a little bit more work. And I read all these keyboard warriors saying about how it's Italian, Chinese, any tone, any clone, by a superstar and all the rest of it. Very disrespectful. There's two guys in France and they work sensationally hard. I know both of them, both of the guys, I know them very well, and they work bloody hard. So it's rather an insult to say it's just Chinese work. It certainly isn't. You know, the George has been 6 years in the making, complete now 6 years, and the design, keyboard, key layout, you know, where the buttons are, the CAD, the prototype box, what it'll look like, everything is done in France. Absolutely all of it is done in France. How the firmware should be, done in France. Obviously it's not produced in France, obviously, but all the graft is done in France. So it sort of a little bit sticks in the throat when everybody says it's Chinese. Because the two French guys that are working on it, they certainly are not in any way Chinese.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. You know, people, it wouldn't go amiss to do a little bit of actual research into, you know, who's designing these radios. The layout of the George 2 is absolutely fantastic. Cannot fault that. Going back to your first, the first thing you said there about the clarifier, yes, it has a very wide stretch on the clarifier. It's almost as though you can turn it around from 12 o'clock to, you know, round about 25 past, where most clarifiers are between 15 and 20 past. But yeah, as a working radio, you know, I said to you from the start, so I'm not being biased, you know, just because you you know, you spend a lot of money on a radio, Simon, and you know, then you have to justify the price you pay for it. If it does have niggles, you know, I have mentioned them, and I have mentioned them to other people openly. So yeah, you know, but all it does, you know, is put the radio right in the long run. You know, I mean, what other company other than President has ever recalled a radio completely free of charge with post as well? You know, like they did with the Lincoln 2 to sort that out. They went well and truly above and beyond the you know, the call there to sort the Lincoln 2 revision 3 out, Simon. So, you know, hats off to President, and this is one of the reasons why I do like their radios, because I do know there's a lot of thought that's put behind them there, my friend QSL.
Yeah, QSL 100%. You know, it's all European done. The two main boys are in France, and of course they have a lot of other businesses around Europe. So they have Romania, they have 2 or 3 engineers, Baltics, a guy called Roberts, and 2 others, and Germany, Stabo, they have some more engineers sat. Spain, President Himalaya, they have 2 more engineers sat. They got the inventor of the ASC, he's still bright as a button, 86, 88 years old, he's still doing odds and ends. And the former head of technical in his 70s, he's still busy working. Another guy from another place, mid-70s, they're still working like hell. But the thing is, they all love the radio, which is, you know, that's the biggest part of it. You know, the fact that they love it, so it's not a chore, which I think is always great, because if you buy a CRT, they buy it for $90, they sell it for $180. They don't change anything, they don't add anything, they buy off the shelf. Whereas in the case of President, they don't. And yet, true what you say about the Lincoln. I had a original Lincoln 2 version 1, it was horrendous. And I sent it away, and they sent me back a version 2. And it worked well, still sat in the cupboard, worked really well. Then I bought the version 3, and it worked better than the 2. And I have a version 2 Plus in the car. Yeah, it went wrong after about 6 months. Something went completely odd with it. It went to France, they fitted a new board in it, and and they just charge me, I think it's 17 euros or 18 euros.
Oh, you're dropping out a little bit, Simon.
The labour, they pay the coach, they pay the repair, I just basically pay
Oh, you dropped out on me, Simon. Yeah, Simon, I'm not sure if the propagation's dropping, my friend. Can you just come back to me on a quick over?
over.
Yeah, I did get over there, if that was from you, Simon. But fantastic talking with you, Simon, if you can still hear me. Propagation has dropped away this side. I'll let you come back on another over and see if it's come back up. But from my end, anyway, it dropped out a little bit there. So try again, Simon. Yeah, that station at 10.5 there, thank you for that. I don't know if Simon's still copying me, but wish him well for me if he can't hear me, and I thank him for the contact today and taking my call. QSL. Okay, 319. Yeah, okay, my friend. Yes, I do seem to have lost him now. I can't pull him back. So absolutely fantastic there, 319 QSL. Okay, I'll remain on frequency anyway. Oh, that was such a shame. Propagation just whoop, after being so strong for so long.